Hey everyone, it's the year's 1999 coming back at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the new TTRPG system that I'm working on. This game system is called Dwelvers in the Dungeon, and it's a streamlined D6 system with straightforward character creation, and it's built for dungeon exploration. So what is this game good for? Well, you could play it at a party, it can easily be played at camp, and if you want to break from your main campaign, then you could take out this system and maybe do like a canonical one-shot or something. So this is something of a roguelike game where you start with a basic character and very little equipment. If you really like beating up monsters and crawling through dungeons, then this may be the game for you. On the other hand, this game isn't really for long-running campaigns. It's designed for shorter games that can connect together in a shared world. That said, you could use this as the start of your campaign and then convert the characters to another system. What we're going to be going over today is the basics of character creation. Each character is a Dwelver who goes on an expedition with other Dwelvers. And Dwelver is a compound word between dwell and delver, because they explore the dungeon, but they're also at home in the dungeon. How does it work? Well, let's get into it.
How does it work? Well, let's get into it. Let's start with base stats. Your base stats are strength, which is, how much you can carry and how hard you can hit. Nimbleness, which is how well you can dodge attacks and how precisely you can move. Durability, which is how tough you are. Comprehension, how well you can remember things and your ability to think quickly. And then grace, which is your ability to talk to people and how divinely minded you are. This is a d6 system, so everything goes through a 6-sided die. A standard roll is 1d6 plus your base stat plus any extras if applicable. Alternatively, you can also just take 9 in your main stat and then 3 in the rest. Then you can move one up and another down. So there is some customization. So your class determines what your main stat is, and it also determines how much stamina you have. Stamina is used for special attacks and things like spells, and we'll get to that later. There are 4 classes: mages, priests, scouts, and warriors. Already you can probably see the overlap with the standard wizard, cleric, fighter, thief, and in this game system, scouts are like a cross between rogues and rangers. In addition to a class type, you also get to pick a creature type. In terms of races, you can call it whatever you want, but mechanically there's just 3, based on size. There are small creatures, like gnomes and halflings. They're more nimble, but less durable. Medium creatures, like humans and elves, they have average stats. Then large creatures, like orcs and Goliaths. They are more durable, but less nimble. So as you can see, the class and race system here is very vague, but you are invited to provide your own flavor to it. You may want to keep a theme in mind when building your characters. So mechanically, 2 large Dwelvers might be similar on paper, but in-game one might be an orc, while the other's a half-ogre. What skills you take also factor in. So for instance, a scout who specializes in nature and trap making might be a ranger, whereas one who's good at lockpicking and stealth could be a thief. So that's what your character is and their general stats. From there, let's look at combat abilities. So for health, you just take your durability and add that to your class's base health score. And then by default, a Dwelver's defense score is equal to their nimbleness, but wearing armor can add to this. And attacks are very straightforward. You roll the weapon's damage, plus either strength for melee or nimbleness for ranged weapons, then you subtract the target's defense score, and whatever's left over is dwelt as damage to the target. Pretty straightforward. And this is very different from, something like Pathfinder or D&D, where attack rolls are a binary yes-no to hit, and then you roll damage. Here, it's just damage minus defense. And if you reduce an enemy to 0 hit points, then they die. Dwelvers are a bit sturdier, but not by much.
Oh! Squidward returned fire!
Then it's war!
No, wait, I was just giving a demonstration!
So if you are knocked to 0, then you need to immediately make a durability check, and you're trying to roll higher than the attack that dropped you. So in this case, the zombie just dealt 6 damage to the warrior, so the warrior would need to roll 1d6 plus their durability score and try to beat a 6. And even if you do beat that score, though, you're still dying. Another player needs to heal you either magically or render first aid within 1 minute. Things are not in your favor if you drop, and that's intentional. There are methods for resurrection, but they are costly and only available at higher levels. One of the many things that sets us apart from 5th edition D&D is that by default, player characters are very expendable. You're gonna die. It just happens. If all of the Dwelvers die in the same event or in quick succession, then the expedition fails. If you want, go ahead and make a new party, keep the game going. Then if you want to get the last group's equipment, though, you better hope you make it back into the dungeon before someone else finds it. And speaking of equipment, let's take a look at equipment. So by default, all characters in Dwelvers in the Dungeon start off with a club, a dagger, and then some rope. Warriors get some armor to start with, and mages and priests get something to cast their spells with, then scouts get an extra dagger. Something I don't really like about 5e is that you can start off with pretty much any non-magical weapon. That's not the case here. And I like the idea because, finding a battle axe early on in the dungeon isn't really that special if you can just start with one from the very beginning. If you want better equipment, you either have to take it from your enemies after you kill them, or use your loot to go buy some at the store. So, and that's kind of the idea, though. You start off with a very basic character, then you keep getting more abilities and weapons and everything like that, and then you can go deeper into the dungeon to find even better stuff.
And well, there you go. That's the basics of character creation. I have some more figured out for the system, so I will keep making these videos. Like I said, it's all a work in progress. So please let me know if you have any suggestions of what we should add or amend. Next time, we're going to be going into the specifics of skills and more about how combat works. So far, I've had a few sessions with the test group, and they have really seemed to be enjoying the system. Shout out to my new friends, Crow and Soul. Let's see how many more characters we grind through before you guys get your treasure. All right. My work in progress system document is going to be down in the description. All of the rules are explained there in much better detail, but I am going to be making these series of videos to follow along with them. So I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm going to try to start making some videos again. I want to branch out more, talk about more systems, not just Dungeons and Dragons. Like, for instance, I've been reading up on the Mistborn tabletop role-playing game system. This thing is really cool and is actually a partial inspiration for Dwelvers. So yeah, I might try to make a video on that soon. Been tossing around some ideas for Zombies Part 3, but this time is a more system agnostic idea for a zombie-themed game. And if you want to check out some other videos of mine in the meantime, I made one a few years ago with my friend Jack of Hearts, kind of explaining how to play Monster of the Week. And that's actually one of my all-time favorite game systems. It's a lot of fun. I think more people should check it out. So watch the video and let me know what you think of it. And that's all I've really got for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, though. So, like I said, if you have any thoughts on Dwelvers in the Dungeon or new video suggestions, put them in the comments. And aside from that, have a great day and God bless.